a passionate instigator and dynamic problem solver. Dr. Kevin Ross Emery, the host of the Dr. Kevin Radio Show, will be taking you outside the box, behind the curtain, and identifying the load of BS we are fed every day. And now, Dr. Kevin.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dr. Kevin Show here on OMTimes, where we're changing the world one ohm at a time. Here on the Dr. Kevin Show, we challenge everything and everyone, and it is the first Thursday of the month. The first Thursday of the month means that it is Thirst Quenching Thursday. And we all know what happens on Thirst Quenching Thursday is I pull up to the pub, I pull up a brew, and I pull up Matt Connarton of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Hey, Matt, I pull in you.
Sounds good to me. Let's get drunk.
Let's get drunk.
Yes?
Oh, have you had that kind of week?
No. Well, every week is, 7 days.
Every week is a good
week
to get drunk?
Of week.
Is that what you do? Is that what you're saying? Every week is a good week to get drunk?
Actually, it's odd. I'm not much of a drinker, but I should be. I'm Irish and German.
Well, I was going to say...
I should be very angry and drunk. Yeah.
You're not, you're not usually a drinker. That's been my experience of you, if you don't count coffee and water and... I'm trying to remember if you drink soda or not. But you do drink coffee, right?
No, I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I do drink the diet soda, but I'll tell you what I do. I have my own special concoction that involves a coffee item, because I'll go to a certain gas station here in Manchester, and I'll get the soda from the fountain, the Diet Pepsi, and I will dump in one of those little caffeine shots, that you get some places. They're free, and of course you're supposed to dump them in your coffee, but I dump them into my Diet Pepsi, and then I top it off with a little bit of cherry Coke, which kills the taste of the caffeine shot, and that's how I start my day. And it's glorious.
Oh my.
It sounds awful, but it's actually wonderful.
Well, I might have to try it, though I think I might put it in my Moxie. I'm not.
Oh, there you go. You drink disgusting things anyway. You drink Moxie. So what I just described probably doesn't faze you at all.
Well, and I'm going to say it this way, is I do drink Moxie. It is, I don't drink it very often because I just don't drink soda very often. So,
yeah.
I mean, I may go months and not have one at all. Coffee, on the other hand, So that's usually a daily joy. I try to limit myself.
Is Moxie considered soda? I thought Moxie was more like battery acid that you can drink if you want.
I see you have decided, when I have compassionately said, oh, well, that sounds interesting, I might have to try it and keep an open mind, that this next sound we heard was the closing of your mind and sarcasm rising to the surface.
Hey, it's the Trump era, baby. It's a whole new world. I'm practicing Trumpism.
I'm going to Trump on you, and I'm going to give you the joys of knowing what a battery acid enema feels like, and then you can tell me whether it compares to a Moxie or not. How's that?
Dr. Kevin, that sounds terrible for a variety of reasons.
Yes, and it should. But Moxie is quite good. So I do want to tell people...
If you say so.
Hey, you know what? We all get a right to have our own opinion.
I agree, but...
Yep.
Ugh.
Remember, and this is one of the things that I wish more people in Washington, D.C. would remember, I wish media would remember, I wish political pontiffs would remember, that there is a huge difference between judgment and discernment. Discernment says, that doesn't work for me. I don't care for the taste of it. Judgment is, that's horrible. And everybody should.
I have good
horrible.
news.
Yes.
I have good news, though, Dr. Kevin. You're talking about you wish people would remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Okay, there we go. So I do want to let our guests know, our listeners, that if they do want to be part of the conversation tonight, wherever it may lead, and I've got a few interesting things I want to go over, and I intend to put Matt on the spot in about 3 minutes. Is that you can go to facebook.com/mydrkevin, MYDRKEVIN. And at the very top is the post about Matt and my show today. You can put comments on the bottom of that, and we will read them on air and respond to them. Or we are now a live call-in show, and you can call in at 202-570-7057 in my best radio voice, 202-570-7057. And be part of the
dulcet tones.
My dulcet tones. Sometimes confused with my adult tones. But anyways, so that's that. So you can do that. You can be part of this conversation. This is Thirst Quenching Thursday, and we do like to go over a number of things. But one of the things that I want to start with is, Matt, you and we talked about so first of all, thank you for covering my show last week.
That was my honor and pleasure, Dr. Kevin. Happy to do it.
How was the show? I talked to the guest afterwards, and she was quite enthused about it.
Good. I enjoyed it a lot. No, she was very interesting, and it's not every day that you talk to someone who is an entrepreneur who has been able to get up a successful business up and running that has been as successful as hers is so very early on. Statistically, far more businesses fail than succeed. So she's got a great thing going, and I was very impressed.
Good. Well, I'm glad. She said she felt like it was a great interview as well. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but I do want to thank you. As I don't know whether you share with the listeners or not, my aunt passed away, and I was tied up in funeral and wakes and stuff like that. So I appreciate you showing up. So now I've been as nice to you as I'm going to be. I want to get all the niceness out early, so it wasn't weighing heavy on my mind that I hadn't been nice to you yet.
Good.
So I do want to talk about, you and I have been kicking around an idea, which was an idea that I actually had put out originally to you, saying that I wanted to do something which I was tentatively calling neutral news.
Yes.
It was going to be a very centered, try to just the facts. You don't remember Dragnet. Dragnet was before your time, but you may have seen it in reruns. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. Do you remember that?
I remember Dragnet, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I never saw the show, but I remember the movie, which hardly anyone else remembers. Remember the movie with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks?
No, I never saw the movie. I watched. Actually, I think I was catching it probably on repeats. As on the TV for the actual TV show.
Yeah.
But there was always that thing about the facts, just the facts, ma'am. Because they didn't want the whole thing. Now, did they do that on the movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd plays Dragnet, and yes, he does say that.
Okay. So like I said, I didn't see the movie, so I didn't know. So anyways, doing a show that we tried to as much as possible, do the facts, just the facts, and then do a movie. We're going to do a movie, Matt, now. Did I say movie? TV show. We talked about doing this as a TV show. But maybe it will lead to the big screen. Who knows? I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. All I can say And then at the end, we would each have a couple of minutes to express our opinions, but clearly stating, this is our take, this is our opinions. Please don't confuse it with being the truth, which is what happens in media all the time. That they present opinions as if they're facts. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is because we have not had a chance to really get that show going. We haven't had a chance to get that show going because we've both just been so crazy. Have you been crazy lately? I've been crazy. I've been insane.
Oh, yes. Crazy like a fox.
Oh, so do tell. What's going on?
That was also a
crazy?
TV show.
I meant crazy like crazy busy. But
oh, yes. Well, that too. My goodness, yes.
Yeah. So I have a challenge for you, Mr. Connarton.
Ooh, people tell me all the time I'm challenged. Yes, go ahead.
Well, are you, let me see. I don't know that I would say that you're challenged. I might say you're challenging. You can be challenging at times.
Well, that's fine too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know if I'd say you're challenged.
Okay.
Well, I did spend some time with Jen. I'm sure you're challenged on a regular basis.
Oh,
Yes.
my.
Oh, my. You must tell Miss Jen I said hello. So I have a challenge for you. We want to do something.
Yes.
We said we wanted to do it, and originally we were going to do the TV show, or my idea was once a month, and maybe we'd do it more often if they got more legs under it and we had more time. And you agreed to that, correct?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. So working something new in the schedule with everything that's going on has been a little difficult, a little challenging for both of us, correct?
Yes.
And there's the music, and I will give you the challenge when we get back.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Mother, Mother Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. West Indian manatees are one of the most unique animals on Earth, and we're still finding out so many new things about them. But manatees are endangered, and many of them are killed or injured each year because of watercraft collisions or other human activities. You can help save these gentle marine mammals. For free tips on what you can do, call Save the Manatee Club at 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show here on Thirst Quenching Thursday, the first Thursday of the month, where I and Matt Connarton take a few things out for a ride and see where they take us. Matt Connarton from Matt Connarton Unleashed, from IPM Nation, from, I don't know, where else are you from?
My mom?
Your mom?
I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah.
Okay, from Hartford.
I was born in Hartford, if that's helpful. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's where the egg was hatched?
Yes. You could put it that way.
Okay. Just checking. So anyways, okay. To more serious topics, my challenge.
Yes.
If we're going to try to do this TV show and try to each pick a couple of things that we want to highlight that's been going on in the news and try to bring actual truth, the truth of what's going on out, so people can say, okay, so that's what's really happening, not all the hype. And then we can weigh on what we think about it, but make it clear that that's what we're doing, which isn't happening much today. Why don't we start that process right here? Why don't we take Thirst Quenching Thursday, starting next month, and start doing that neutral news format here on this show that we do once a month until we can get the TV show going? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, but do you know what you're agreeing to? Do you know what that requires? And we're doing this on air, live, so people can have it, and so I have a copy of it that I can replay back to you. Do you know what that means?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It means that actually you will have to bring 1 to 2 things that you have researched and have the truth on, that you're bringing up, balls that you're carrying into this radio show, and not whatever you want to talk about, Dr. Kevin.
Okay, I will bring those balls. I promise.
Okay, because that's what I want to hear, because this is the only way this is going to be successful is if we do a really good job. And we say, this is what we're going to talk about. We communicate ahead of time to make sure we're not bringing up the same thing, that we've done our homework. And I'm doing this because if you do it, then I'll do it because I refuse to look bad. But if I know you're going to goof on it, then I can get away with kind of semi-half goof doing it because I'll still look better than you.
You are so... You should think about a life of crime, Dr. Kevin, because you have a very devious mind.
Well, you know, I know how to manage my own gift.
There you go. I like what you did there. Yes, no, I am committing to that. Yes. Good.
So you heard it here first. We're going to put it out there. Thirst Quenching Thursday is going to be turning to the Dr. Kevin Show monthly edition. The first Thursday of every month is going to now be the radio version of Neutral News. And we're going to highlight what has gone on from month to month. We're going to try to keep it down to a couple of stories each. But we may only be able to do one each. I mean, if you really present, this is what's going on, this is kind of what you're hearing, and then this is really what's going on, and this is really what you should know about it, and this is really what you should, this is what your options are, then we may only get to 2 stories. We may only get to 3 stories.
Right.
If we decide that we're overwhelmed with stuff that we really want to talk about, that we think that the American public is getting hosed on, from either side, from both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we might decide to do this show every other week on here, and I'll do guests every other week. Because I think that this is important. This is so important. People just don't know what the truth is anymore. And it is fueling a lot of antagonism. I think it's underlying a lot of the violence. It definitely underlies some of the apathy, so it's hitting both ends of the scale. Because when you get overwhelmed with so much contradictory information, you get to the point where you go, I don't know what to believe anymore, so I'm just not going to bother. And
we do. I was going to say we do live in the era of alternative facts now.
Yes. Well, and I am making one of my priorities to do what I can to stand up against that error.
Yes, good.
The error is an error.
Yes.
So
I'm with you.
So I think the era of alternative facts should be spelled ERROR.
Right. I agree.
So, and I think people are going to be looking to see where can actually tell me the truth. Right now, I still think you're most likely to find the truth on Comedy Central, or at least the closest version of it. So.
Oh, on the Daily Show, yeah.
Yeah, on the Daily Show. I still think that they'll take the Mickey out of both sides, and they'll try to do something. And now I know it looks like it's a complete anti-Trump show, but let's face it, he gives them a lot to work with. I mean, like, it's making their job really easy.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we will, I mean, it is human nature to gravitate towards if you give somebody a great big huge old dish of chocolate ice cream every day to eat, why do you go searching for something else? So,
right.
What do you know about the Johnson Amendment, and what do you think about what Trump is threatening to do with it?
There's been so much happening so quickly. So I'll ask you to just refresh my memory a little bit. Is this the amendment about churches that get nonprofit, tax-free status can't? They can't use the pulpit, so to speak, to advance political causes. And Trump wants to do away with that.
Yep. So I'm going to read you what the actual, I'm not going to read the amendment per se, but I'm going to read you what the amendment. The Johnson Amendment is a provision in the U.S. tax code that prohibits all 501c3 nonprofit organizations from endorsing or opposing political candidates. It's not just churches. 501c3 organizations are the most common type of nonprofit, ranging from charitable foundations to universities and churches. The amendment was included in the Revenue Code of 1954 and is named for then Senator Lyndon B. Johnson of Texas, who proposed the bill and enacted it in Congress. It was continued in the updated Internal Revenue Code of 1986 that was enacted when Ronald Reagan was the President of the United States. In recent years, the Alliance Defending Freedom has attempted to challenge it through the Pulpit Freedom Initiative, which urges Protestant ministers to violate status in protest. The ADF contends that the amendment violates the First Amendment rights. And of course, Trump has said he's going to destroy it. So let's see if we can have an intellectual debate with the piece of information that we know. This is a good precursor to neutral news. So first of all, it's not just churches. They're trying to make it sound like this is so ministers can speak out, but this actually means Harvard or Berkeley or, well, I don't know if Harvard's a 501c3. I think it is. Anyways, any of the universities could line up, any charitable foundation could line up and start openly supporting political candidates. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Good for the country? Bad for the country? Is it a violation?
Well, this may surprise you because I am, as I'm sure you know, Dr. Kevin, firmly a separation of church and state guy. But I don't have any particular strong feelings about this in the sense that I'm actually fine with this change. I don't think it matters much. I do think that, I'm generally for more freedom of expression than less. So if this amendment is causing people to feel that they cannot express themselves because they're afraid of getting in trouble, getting their tax exempt status removed by the IRS or whatever it may be, losing their nonprofit status, etc. I'm fine with this going away. I don't see any real big problem with it or without it. Now, I know that obviously for Trump to want to do this, the motivation is clear. He's continuing to try to play to the evangelicals who, for whatever reasons, were completely snowed by him and bought in to his spiel about being a born-again Christian and whatnot during the campaign, which I don't believe he is. I mean, my suspicion is, if anything, he's probably an atheist. But they bought in, and he's trying to make sure that they're not sorry they bought in, and that's what this really is. This is him trying to placate the people in this country who believe that Christianity is somehow under attack and is being undermined by secularism and by Islam and all of it, all the religious freedom or freedom to be free from religion that exists in this country that they are so nervous about. So he's trying to placate them and play to that crowd. I'm certain that's his true motivation with this. He probably doesn't have any particular strong feelings about it one way or the other. So this is purely political in my view, but I don't have any particular strong feelings about the action itself one way or the other. If he manages to change this, so be it. It doesn't particularly upset me in either direction.
So now, and first of all, before I weigh in, because I'm going to weigh in, but we're going on break any second now, so I'm waiting for the music to come in. And there it is. I must be psychic. And we'll be right back here on the Dr. Kevin Show.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Cielito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner. And your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show. We are here on OMTimes. This is now a live call-in show, so you can participate in this. First of all, you can participate by going to facebook.com /MyDrKevin, MyDrKevin. With that, you make sure you like the page because I'm likable. You can list your comments, and we will actually read them on air, as long as they're appropriate, or you can call in. The call-in number is 202-888-9300. 570. I just went to try to bring it up. 202-570-7057. Sorry about that. 202-570-7057. No, I don't have it memorized, and my phone screen blipped, and I was like, whoa, wait a second, where'd you go? I didn't get you all in yet. Come back here. So
oh my goodness.
Part of the conversation. We are also looking at the fact that we are going to start releasing a new format beginning at the beginning of March, where Thirst Quenching Thursday is going to become Neutral News. The Dr. Kevin Show monthly Neutral News with Matt Connarton of Matt Connarton Unleashed, where we're going to try to see, we are going to try to do our very, very best to give you the facts, just the facts. And we'll get a little opinion in. Huh?
I'm going to do my my very, 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 very best, Dr. Kevin.
Your very, very, very best to do what? To do the truth? Just the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So help you God?
I suppose. I mean, I'm a bit of an agnostic, but sure.
Well, see, I figured that would be easy for you to say because, you know, when you don't have a God, so help you God doesn't really mean anything, does it?
That's right.
So I want to weigh in on the Johnson Amendment and what I think. This is
yes,
so
yes.
So here is the facts. He wants to roll it back, which basically means that anybody associated in any role, and I'm assuming it has to be a major role, like the president of a university, the head of a charitable nonprofit foundation, or the minister at a church, can choose their battle, can speak out either and throw their support either for or against a political candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the facts. It's not just church. It's not just a church thing. They're trying to make it just a church thing. This means for everybody. That means that anything that's considered a church can speak out, whether it's a pagan church or it's a temple or it's a, synagogue, or maybe it's a mosque. They all get to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
They all get to say what they think. And so do all the universities. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem if this gets rolled back. I think that free speech should be free speech. And I think that everybody should be able to speak out. And everybody should be able to express their opinion. And we all have circles of influence. And it's not like it doesn't happen. I remember when they were fighting for the rights, they were fighting to get gay rights in Maine, gay marriage in Maine, and they were doing the thing. I mean, the priest at the Catholic Church in Portland was talking at the pulpit about it. It happens. No one's really enforcing that law unless they're a major, you know, like if it was Joel Osteen maybe, or Billy Graham. What are we on? Billy Graham the 4th or the 5th now? Anyways, whoever it is, unless it's a major head of whatever, they're doing it anyways. And there's a lot of ways to say something without actually saying something. You know,
that's true.
If you want to mention that, you know, that as good, you know, quote unquote, as good Christians, you should obviously always support a right to life. You're basically saying don't vote for the person who is going to hold up Roe versus Wade. Okay?
Right.
It's going to happen. Now, on the other hand, so I agree with you. I don't think that as long as free speech is equal, as long as all of these people who are saying, oh yeah, my minister should be able to say what they want from the pulpit, well, so should everyone else's.
Well, do you agree with me about Trump's real motivation for even bothering with this and making it a big issue?
Well, I think part of it is he's playing to the crowd that he is. Did Trump actually say he was a born-again Christian? I didn't hear that. I never heard him actually say that. I heard
I'm not sure.
I heard it in political double-speak inference, but I don't ever remember him ever saying the words.
I'm not sure he himself used that phraseology, but he did talk about being baptized again, or I know he's Presbyterian. I'm actually looking. I'm going to try to find this on Google. I don't think he's actually used that specific term, born again, but I'm going to find out here.
I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I believed he was. I'm not sure I believe that he was baptized again. I don't think that his hair would have survived it. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, that was inappropriate. Anyways,
there's something on New York Times website says a born again Donald Trump, believe it, evangelical leader says. James Dobson says that Trump is born again, but I don't think Trump has ever actually said that exactly.
Yeah, well, let's not forget that Jesus was Jewish and Judas was an apostle, and Satan was one of the original angels at the right hand of God. So he fits right in.
Sure. Actually,
I don't even know what to do with that.
You mentioned his hair. Did you see that his doctor came out and said apparently Trump takes Propecia? No. I don't know why. I don't know why his doctor felt that was appropriate to reveal that, but he did. But
no, well, I mean, I don't know. He takes alopecia. He's pompous. I mean, I don't know. Does it all? I don't know. Anyways, but I do have a second part to the Johnson Amendment. And my second part to the Johnson Amendment is that I think that we absolutely, nonprofit organizations should not be allowed to donate to causes or political campaigns at all. If you're not paying taxes, this is just a way to buy influence. But first of all, I'm against all lobbyists, period. All lobbying needs to go away. All lobbying. Even if I agree with what they're promoting, all lobbyists need to go away. No ifs, ands, buts, no exceptions. Not a single one there that I'm going to say, okay, there's the one that can stay. They all need to go away. No one group should have more power than a single vote. If that group is all behind somebody, they can all vote for that person. They can all donate within the conscripts of donations. They can all buy them personally, but buying them under a false name and funneling millions of dollars into these horrendously toxic, vile, just horrifying political elections that we have today is just unacceptable. And no one's ever going to convince me otherwise.
Well, what I would like to see is really intense. I want to be very, very careful always not to trample on anyone's First Amendment rights. So I'm not sure if I want to do away with lobbyists. I think what I would like to do is have something so ridiculously transparent, beyond anything anyone ever imagined, like perhaps a website where not only can you easily find out every single dollar or gift that is contributed to anyone in Congress or the president or whomever, but also they have to log in under penalty of law every single person they talk to who may be a lobbyist or anyone like that. So you can go and easily find out who is your congressman, who is your senator, who is your governor speaking to, and who that person represents. Just a very, very intense transparency, which we'll never see, but that's what I think the real solution is. So you can find out and become informed about absolutely everything with these office holders.
You know, lobbyists represent corporations, companies, groups, organizations, unions. Lobbyists represent collectives, which, depending on the amount of money that any of those collectives have, determines whether they get to buy the hottest shot senator or the gimp along, maybe he'll help them in a vote senator that's, a lame duck.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that American? Why is that part of a democratic process, even though we're a republic? And as long as we have an electoral college, we'll never be a democracy. Okay? But I want to hear why any company, let alone one that's, sent half its workforce overseas and, doesn't pay hardly anything in taxes, should be able to write tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of checks to somebody in office that is making decisions that are supposed to be on the best interest of this country on a whole. Explain that to me, Matt, because I'm listening.
Well, that's why okay? I would. It's not that it's okay, but oh, now I get to formulate my answer a little better.
Yeah, saved by the music. We'll be right back.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show. You can find out more about the show and how to share your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas with us. This is Thirst Quenching Thursday, first Thursday of every month. Now, starting in March, it's going to be a little different. It will be Matt Connarton from Matt Connarton Unleashed and founder of IPM Nation, and I doing a monthly neutral news where we're going to do our very best to try to bring you just the facts. Just the facts. And that in doing that, we will try to see if we can give you a place where you can go and find out what's really going on without all of the hype. This is a call-in show, so you can call in. Or you can go to facebook.com/MyDrKevin. Make sure you like the page. All the information about how to call in, how to contact us, or how to leave a message that we will share on the air is right there. So, Matt, you were going to explain to me why lobbying should be existing in a democracy.
Okay, well, here's the thing. So I don't have a problem with any of it if, like I was saying before, if there was a way to make it ridiculously, let me put it this way. You know how Trump talks about his extreme vetting? I want extreme transparency. So if I don't have a problem with somebody writing a $10,000 or a $100,000 or a $1 million check. If I can go online and see, this candidate took this $1 million check from this company, so I know that this company is who this candidate really works for. I don't have a problem with that. If it is that transparent that I can see that. The counter argument people make to that is, well, you can't have that because people have a right to privacy. So if somebody wants to donate a large sum of money, they should be able to do so without the whole world knowing about it because it's not everybody else's business. To which my counter argument is, well, too bad. We're going to have to sacrifice privacy to get to transparency. And if you're embarrassed about who you're donating to, then I guess don't write that check. But that's what I would like to see. Now, that is never going to happen. I realize that, being a realist. So therefore, if we have to do something else like banning lobbyists, as you were talking about, or whatnot, so be it. But it's not the perfect solution. To me, the perfect solution would be 100% transparency. So I can find out who wrote that $1 million check. And if I don't like who wrote that $1 million check, I know not to vote for that candidate. Like I said, extreme transparency beyond anything everyone's ever. So transparent, it's obnoxious. So transparent, these people can't stand it, how transparent it is. I would love that. But I realize it's a fantasy.
Well, and it is a fantasy because, as long as we have layer after layer after layer of, and which is, this all started with my statement concerning the Johnson Amendment. I don't care if people in churches, mosques, temples, I don't care if the head of the local Satanist cult wants to speak out against or for a candidate.
Yeah.
That's their right. But I don't think that money that's collected by an organization that doesn't get taxed should be allowed to be used to support political candidates. I think it leaves way too much opportunity for abuse. And that's where this whole conversation started. But, lobbyist is basically lobbyists. They are lobbying to get something that they want that may or may not, and usually is not in the best option of the American people. They're trying to get, clearance on certain products or drugs, or they're trying to get certain environmental. They are, if it was really truly, if they were really truly trying to serve America, they shouldn't have to be writing checks. They should be presenting a case. This is why this is what's best for the American people, not their shareholders.
The only problem, though, is, see, we're both doing it. I mean, I realize as you're talking that, and I'm falling into it too. We are painting with a broad brush here because on the one hand, lobbyists do get demonized, and probably to a large extent, rightfully so. I mean, look, your typical lobbyist for big tobacco or for the private prison industry, or whatever, we're probably going to look at those people and say, well, they're scumbags and we know what they're really up to and whatnot. But at the same time, as I'm thinking about it, it's like, well, wait a minute, though. There's some lobbyists there that I do want there. Someone who's lobbying, for example, for the decriminalization or legalization of cannabis. You know what? I actually want that lobbyist there doing that work and trying to make people understand why that's a good idea. Or lobbyists who want to shrink the size of government, or lobbyists who are anti-war, or whatever. So they're not all bad. You know, a big tobacco lobbyist who's going in and handing out checks to people, yeah, that's a bad guy. I mean, this is a hypersimplification, but for the sake of argument, that's a bad guy. But on the other hand, the lobbyist who's trying to get our government to not continue to lock people in federal prison for cannabis use, that's a good guy. And I don't know about you, but I like that guy and I want that guy there. So so this is where I start to get conflicted. Maybe we're painting with too broad a brush here.
Okay, well, I'm going to narrow the brush down really quickly.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
First of all, there's nobody out there that we couldn't find somehow that says, well, my lobbyist group deserved to be there because I agree with what they're lobbying for.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is. There's a lobbyist group that's trying to, change the national anthem to God Bless America and make us a theocracy, with Donald Trump as Pope.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're all out there. What I'm saying is that lobbyists, as people that have any ability to exchange money or things of value in order to influence our lawmakers, need to be eliminated altogether. If if a group wants to put somebody up so that they can present information, but I think that all dollars that come from any lobbyist groups should be considered bribes, because you shouldn't have to pay your senator to read a report on why it does not make sense for cannabis use to be a reason to lock somebody up for 5 years. Why do we have to pay a congressman to read something that he's getting paid pretty good money and lifetime benefits to be made aware of? Why does he have to get paid for that?
No, I'm with you on that point. Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
No, I'm with you there. Yeah.
Yep. So lobbying groups should be educational groups that are presenting information, and money should never be exchanged. Okay?
Yeah.
Congress positions, presidential positions, any position that influences the making of law, or even the enforcement of law, that's the word I wanted. The making or enforcement of law should never accept a penny from anybody that's going to benefit from the decision they make. That is what is wrong. Educational groups, informational groups, groups speaking for little guys. Because let me tell you, the way it's set up now, for every one the little guy wins, the big guy wins 10, because the big guy has 10 times more money.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay?
Yeah.
The let's not lock up and throw away the key because somebody was smoking a little dope and their skin was darker colored.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if their skin is white and they're smoking a little dope, well, the sentences go way down then.
That is true. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So
there is institutional racism. Yeah.
Yes, institutional racism. So from that standpoint, no money should ever exchange hands, because there's never going to be as much money in institutional racism as there is in big pharma or the AMA. Ain't going to happen. It's not as profitable.
Right.
The only way that institutional racism, the only way that, taking care of African Americans again could become highly profitable is if they could roll back the hands of time and make them slaves so that people could get free labor from them. Well, we don't enslave them, we just throw them in prison. Well, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, no, I stand. Lobbying needs to go away in the form it is now. We need to find groups and collectivists. If money is completely banned from the activity, if money is completely money and things of value, that includes stock, that includes vacations, that includes cars, that includes anything of value, goes out of the equation, then we can still continue lobbyists, and then it's a different conversation. Matt Connarton, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin. Always a pleasure.